The last dawn. The morning sun began to filter through the dense canopy of the enchanted forest, casting dappled light on the soft moss that carpeted the ground. Thistle, a small and nimble rabbit, sat at the edge of the whispering brook, her ears twitching nervously. The forest was unusually quiet, and the birds that usually serenaded her were silent. Thistle, a familiar voice called. Briar, her closest friend, bounded through the underbrush. His fur was ruffled, and his eyes wide with alarm. Briar, what's wrong? Thistle asked, her nose twitching. It's the heart of the forest, Briar panted. It's dying. Thistle's heart skipped a beat. The heart of the forest was a mystical gem hidden deep within the woods, its magic sustaining all life around it. Without it, the forest would wither and die. But how? Thistle whispered. What happened? Briar glanced around, his ears twitching at every sound. There's a shadow, an evil force spreading through the woods. I overheard the owls talking. They say the Shadow Witch has returned. Thistle felt a chill run down her spine. The Shadow Witch, a malevolent sorceress, had been banished centuries ago. If she had indeed returned, the entire forest was in grave danger. We have to find the heart, Thistle said, determination hardening her voice. We have to save it. Briar nodded. But we must hurry. The longer we wait, the weaker the heart becomes. The two rabbits set off, their paws barely making a sound on the forest floor. They weaved through thick brambles and jumped over fallen logs, guided by an unspoken urgency. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the light grew dimmer and an eerie silence enveloped them. They reached the glade of echoes, where the heart of the forest was hidden. A dark, swirling mist covered the glade, and in the center stood the Shadow Witch, her eyes glowing with malevolent glee. You are too late, little rabbits, the Shadow Witch hissed, her voice like nails on a chalkboard. The heart is mine. Thistle stepped forward, her small frame trembling but her voice steady. We won't let you destroy our home. The Shadow Witch laughed, a cold, cruel sound. And how do you plan to stop me? Thistle glanced at Briar, who nodded in understanding. Together, they charged at the witch, dodging her dark tendrils of magic. Thistle's small but nimble body darted towards the heart, while Briar distracted the witch with quick feints and leaps. With a final, desperate lunge, Thistle reached the heart and placed her paws on it. A surge of warmth spread through her, and the heart began to glow, its light pushing back the shadowy mist. No, the Shadow Witch screamed as the light engulfed her, banishing her once more. The forest breathed a sigh of relief as the heart's magic flowed back into the trees, plants, and animals. Thistle and Briar collapsed beside the heart, exhausted but victorious. We did it, Thistle whispered, her eyes closing as she drifted into a peaceful sleep. Yes, Briar replied softly, his gaze on the glowing heart. We did. As dawn broke over the enchanted forest, the first rays of sunlight touched the heart, casting a rainbow of colors across the glade. Life returned to the forest, and the birds began to sing once more, their melodies echoing the bravery of two small rabbits who had saved their world.